Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Genie Coder. If you guys are new here, I pretty much, help people master data structures and algorithms, right? And help them land their dream job. So today we have a pretty interesting topic, guys. So right now we're covering the 1D array, right? This is a practice problem on HackerRank. So if you guys want to check that out, you guys could check it out. So pretty much, good introduction to arrays, guys, to kind of help us be familiar with the array in Java pretty much, right? So you could do it whatever language of choice, but this is specifically for Java. What I'm saying. So he says an array, right, is a simple data structure used to store a collection of data in a contiguous block of memory, right? It says each element in the collection is accessed using an index, right? And the elements are easy to find because they're stored in sequentially in memory, right? Because the collection of elements, right, in an array stored as a big block of data, we typically use arrays when we know exactly how many pieces of data we're going to have, right? It says, for example, you might use an array to store a list of student IDs or the names of state of capitals to create. It says to create an array of integers, right? Name array, my array, right? That can hold 4 integer values. You would write the following code, right? So pretty much guys are telling us that, now, there are some advantages and disadvantages of using an array, right? So array are not dynamic, right? So you need to know the exact size, right, of, that you need when you are allocating an array, guys. So it's not dynamic like an array list, what I'm saying. So, but it has some advantages as well, guys. So I'm saying, yeah, we have random access, which is pretty good. Yeah, there's a lot of great benefits using that uh, array, guys. So, pretty much they tell us exactly, right? So my array, right, is pretty much I'm saying that's how you would initialize it in Java, right? So pretty much you specify the type, right? You put the brackets, right, to signify it's an array, right? 1D array. So you put the type. It could be string array, right? I'm saying it could be object array. It could be whatever array you want it to be, right? Just you need to put the type in the array, right? Put that, right, to signify the array, right? Then you put the name of your array, and then you assign it to a new, right? New int, right? A new integer array, guys. And you need to make sure that you put the size of the array, you know what I'm saying, so that it knows exactly how many block of memory it should allocate for you, right? So yeah, very, very important, I'm saying. And he says that the index range from 0 to 1 less than the size of the array, right? It says each cell initially contain a 0, right? So that's a Java thing, right? So he said in the case of my array, right, we can store integers at indices 0, 1, 2, and 3, right? So yeah, because 0 base, guys, so it's the indices are 0, 1, and 3, guys. So he says similarly, right, we can print the content of the last. So pretty much right now what they're doing here, they're assigning a value to the last element, right, which is index 3, guys, for this one, right? Yeah, so we assign it a value, guys, right? And yeah, the next thing that we do, guys, which is important, so what they're doing here, they're printing the actual value, right? So pretty much if we wanted to add a number to the first element in the array, right, this would be a 0 because this is index 0, right? That's the first index in the array, guys. So very, very important, guys. So I'm saying yeah, so we could easily assign values at particular indices, right, which is a pretty good thing. And we could read from them, right? So that's a pretty good. We could read and write, pretty easily, guys. So yeah, so this one we assign it to 12 and then we print 12, right? So it says our task, right, is pretty much read. So pretty much the code and the editor, the code in your editor does the following, right? So it reads an integer, right, from standard n, right, and saves it to a variable n, right? So it's already doing that for you right here, right? So it reads from system.n, right? And it reads that first number for us, right? I'm saying. It says and then reads n integers, right, corresponding to all the numbers, right, from system.n, right? Saves each integer a of I, right, to a variable val, right? It says attempt to print each of the following. So, and it attempts, right, to print each of the following in an array, right, named A. It says write the following code in the unlock portion of the editor, right? So it says to create, so our job, right, is to create an array, right, of that can hold all the numbers pretty much, right, that they're gonna pretty much have us save, right? It says to modify the code in the loop, right, so that it saves each sequential value to its corresponding location in the array, right? For example, the value must be stored, the first value must be stored at the first index, right, A0, and the second value must be stored in the other value, right, in the index 1, right, and so on and so forth, right? I'm saying, so pretty much to give us a pretty easy example. So the first line is gonna have, like I said, like they said, right, the first the how many numbers that we're gonna store, right? And yeah, so we have all the pieces of information that we need, right? So pretty much, guys, what we're gonna do, so they already show us how to, so we need to have a data structure that's gonna hold the numbers, right, that they're gonna give us, right? So in this case, it's an array because we're doing arrays, right? So we're gonna pretty much allocate memory, right? So he tells us exactly what to do, which is pretty neat. So create an array A, right, that can hold n integers, right? Right. So we write an array, right? A, right? So it tells exactly the name of the array, right? It should be A, right? You know what I'm saying? And it says, so now we specify the type, right, of integer, because it tells us exactly what we need, integer, right? It says create an array that can hold integers, right? So the type is going to be integers, and then you put the square brackets, and you put the name of the array, right? And then we allocate memory, right? New int array, right? And then we specify the size. Well, what's the size? The size is going to be n because they've already done it for us, right? So we just need to put, all right, see this. We just create an array of size n, right? Integer array of size n, right? That's exactly what we're doing here. And then our next thing that we're going to do, guys, pretty much says to modify, right? So what we're going to do, pretty much, we're going to save, we're going to save all the numbers, right, in the array, guys, right? Because that's the whole point of creating that array, right? So that's the whole point for that. So I is less than n, I plus plus. So pretty much we get the value, right? And val. So where is the value going to come from? The value is going to come from the object that they created right there, right? Next n. Okay. So it gets that value. And the next thing that we're going to do, which is pretty straightforward, it's going to be, we're going to store it in the actual array, right? So initially, I is equal to 0, right? So we're going to be able to store at the first index, right? And then in the next iteration, it's going to store, right, the second value, right? So pretty much right there, right? It read the first line, right, which is 5, right? And then the next few lines, right, are going to pretty much represent the actual number. So we get the next number, which is 10, right? Then we save it in the variable val, right? And then we assign it to that I is equal to 0, and then we're able to assign it there, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. And then it goes over and over, right, up to 5, right? But not including 5. So and then now I is equal to 1, right, in the next iteration. And then the value now is going to equal to 20, and then we assign I we assign the value index 1, right, to equal to the actual value, which is 20, right? So yeah, pretty simple problem, guys. So let's press run code, see if we see, okay, we did good. Let's press submit. All right, looks like everything's good, guys. So yeah, it passed everything, and yeah, it's a pretty good introductory to arrays, guys. So especially in Java, pretty much kind of get you familiar with the different data structures, guys. So I'm gonna be having a whole playlist that involves data structures. All right, so I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. If you guys found value, give me a like, guys. If you guys are new here, subscribe, because there's a lot more to come. I'll be doing a lot of other things, guys. So I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.